Good morning or good afternoon, whatever your time zone is. I'm laughing today at the absurdity of the white man's little games with the tit-for-tat war situation around the world. Let me qualify white man again, because people get misunderstood or they misunderstand what I mean by that. It's an ideology, and basically it's more or less a fake Christian combined with other things ideology. Insane, pretty much. So I'm watching this whole thing in the Middle East, the tit for tat. One person, one group of people against another group of people. The Israelis and the Ukrainians and the Iranians and the Palestinians, and this continued onslaught of insanity, basically. It's laughable, really, when you look at this stuff, because it's a charade. It's a dog and pony show. People in that dog and pony show, people should realize, is for the sole purpose of instilling fear and keeping people on the edge of their seat. Like, what's going to happen next? So, just to show you how ridiculous and phony it is, let's take, for example, the situation in the Middle East right now with all the machinations and strategies and mind games and propaganda and psychological operations and false flags all combined into one, just so you can't figure it out, supposedly. There's little telltale signs about the phoniness of it, for me anyway. And one of those signs, I was thinking about this the other day, one of those signs is, okay, so you got supposedly Israel over there with this quote unquote Iron Dome that is hard to penetrate or almost impossible to penetrate, supposedly, with any kind of incoming missile or aircraft or whatever. Missiles from an aircraft, you name it, okay? The ridiculousness of this whole thing is, let's take, for example, a cruise missile. You have the advantage of me being not only a wisdom keeper, a native elder, but the advantage of me having a whole shitload of technical expertise from days gone by, from journeys gone by, when I was in aviation and a whole host of other things. It's called figuring things out with common sense. So you got the cruise missile, right? Iran has cruise missiles. Hezbollah has cruise missiles. All kinds of those countries that are opposing Israel have cruise missiles. And not only that, but they probably are getting or will have soon or already have hypersonic missiles, or even, let's say, just supersonic missiles. We're talking about past the speed of sound. We're talking about Mach 7, Mach 8. So what does a cruise missile do when you fire it? What is the technical aspect of a cruise missile, or any missile for that matter? Well, these things can be programmed to fly right above the terrain. They can actually hug the terrain So, you see this big firework display of all these rockets coming in out of nowhere over Israel, and the Iron Dome is in action, and it's shooting these missiles down like a big fireworks show. And these missiles that are coming in, if you will notice, are way above the ground. They're probably a couple thousand, 2,000, 5,000 feet above the ground. These missiles can be programmed to fly 200 feet above the ground. So what's wrong with this picture? And they hug the terrain. They have sensors on them so that they don't hit mountains. They just kind of fly along and go whoop over the mountain, but they're still at 200 feet altitude, 300 feet. Now, if you have a bunch of cruise missiles, or let's say hypersonic or supersonic missiles coming in, hugging the terrain, and it isn't that far from Iran to Israel, you will, if they're hugging the terrain, all right, now picture this, here they are, incoming, hugging the terrain, heading for Israel, 200 feet above the ground. Are you going to see a bunch of rockets coming in way up in the sky and being shot down like a silly-ass show? No, you're not. They're going to come in low and fast, all right? And even if there was an Iron Dome, even if there was a system, an aircraft defense system, or it slips my mind now, the terminology. Protection against incoming, let's put it that way. Even if they shot off in retaliation or not retaliation, as an intercept, to intercept these fast missiles coming over the earth, just above the earth, do you think you would see a bunch of stuff exploding way up in the sky? No. If they did hit the incoming, it would be 200 feet above the ground, not way up in the sky like that. And what would happen if they hit an incoming and it was just encroaching on Israel's territory and it was 200 feet above the ground, and they hit it and it exploded? Guess what? 200 feet above the ground, an explosion is going to be just as good as if the missile went in and hit its target. It's going to cause damage, and it's going to cause chaos. Air defense system is the word I was looking for before. Air defense system. The Iron Dome is supposedly a kind of air defense system. So that right there tells you something, doesn't it? As far as it all being a big show, really, if you wanted to get in and destroy military bases or military headquarters, and this fast, and if you have a hypersonic drone, it wouldn't even matter if these people with the air defense system, the Iron Dome in Israel, shot off rockets at them. It wouldn't matter a whit, because it would be too fast. Now, don't think for 1 minute that even a supersonic missile is that easy to hit. It's not. But again, like I said before, if it is hit, it's going to explode above the ground. It's going to cause all kinds of havoc. Okay. But when you see these things, these charades of rockets being fired off, coming in towards Israel from Iran, and they're getting shot down by the iron, and it's a big fireworks show way, way up in the sky there, thousands of feet. It's really laughable. And people buy this, even military experts don't even mention this fact. It's basically just a continual jaw flapping about, are they going to retaliate? When are they going to retaliate? And people going into bunkers and assassinations. And is this all real? Is this a show? So the big thing right now, people are in waiting on the edge of their seats, like in Israel. And this could be, I mean, the way I look at it, if it's real, this could be just a psychological operation by Iran to keep Israel on the edge of their seats and not know when shit's going to happen, when shit's going to hit the fan. But if they really, the bottom line here is if this is all really serious. Incidentally, Russia is in Iran right now. They are allied with Iran. They are allies on a military, strategic, economic level. Iran is in BRICS. And so there are big, giant cargo planes, IL series cargo planes flying into Russia right now with loads and loads of weapons, maybe actually personnel. And then, of course, Russia has this advanced electronic warfare system that they are giving to Iran. The advanced electronic warfare system is kind of like an EMP pulse, electromagnetic pulse scrambler situation, where it can cause the avionics, which would be the radios, okay, in these different aircraft, and let's say the radios or the electronic mechanisms in a missile and that type of thing to go berserk and haywire and not know where they are. Or they just go completely black, completely dead. This happened. This technology was revealed a long time ago when the Maidan coup was taking effect in 2014, around that time, and I believe there was I can't remember the name of the ship, American ship. I did a video on this at the time. There was an American ship that was in the Black Sea or in a threatening manner around that time of the Maidan coup in Ukraine, when all this stuff really started, at least the Ukrainian stuff. They were in the Black Sea, and they were fully armed, and they were cruising around as kind of like a backup to the coup people, the coup that they orchestrated, the neo-Nazis. They were out there as kind of a backup situation, or who knows, might even have been more than a backup situation. And what they were there for wasn't good. And so the Russians detected this, and they sent in some Su series fighter jets, top of the line. You can't get a better fighter jet than the Su series Russian aviation, advanced aviation fighter jets. They went in and swooped over this ship, this American ship that was in the Black Sea. They came in hot and fast, okay, and they zoomed over that ship so low, again, like I was talking about before, that it scared the hell out of all the sailors on the ship. And immediately when they flew over, now this has to do with the electronic warfare part, immediately when they flew over the ship went totally black, totally dead in the water. No avionics, no electronics, no engine, nothing. It was just like a floating piece of wood in the water. And well, of course there was panic instantly on the ship, because they didn't really have any idea that Russia was this far advanced. Electronic warfare. Electronic warfare and interference and EMP pulses and that type of thing. And they got so scared, those sailors, that when they finally did get the ship going again, see, they can turn this stuff off and on. They can flip a switch and render something incapable of even moving. Okay, and this is aircraft too. This isn't just ships. And so when they do that, they can flip the switch back on anytime and allow the ship or whatever it is to restore its power. But when these guys got into port, there was a whole slew of them that just said, we're leaving the Navy, we're resigning, we're out of here. That's how scared they were in this situation. They were like, we're not having this, this isn't something we want to do, so do whatever you want to me, but I'm leaving. I'm resigning from the armed forces. So this is exactly the same systems that they're delivering over into Iran right now, that Russia is delivering over there. So it remains to be seen the effectiveness of this whole situation. I just look at it like, if this shit happens, I'm just sitting here looking at it like an analyst, all right, and seeing what I can see as far as if there's some kind of big charade here that we don't know about. See, that's another thing that people, they rule this out of their minds because they can't comprehend that behind the scenes there could be some kind of manipulation going on where this is all just by all countries. And whether they're being manipulated consciously or unconsciously by forces, who knows? Everybody thinks everybody's insane, and they are. So the manipulation, there could be a manipulation of mankind as a whole as to setting some other type thing up, like an alien invasion coming in to save the whole world. Hell, if there was ever going to be an alien invasion, as far as the Star Brothers and Star Sisters coming in to save the planet, I couldn't think of a better time. I couldn't think of a better time for them to appear, if, in fact, this is all real and off the deep end and, you know, nuclear playground time. If in fact that's what's going on here, we're on the verge of, and that's the scenario that the world, let's face it, the world's in a scenario right now that they have set up, whether it's real or unreal, whether it's an overlay, okay, on the underlay, got a reality on top of a reality, a dimension on top of a dimension type thing. Now I'm coming from a wisdom keeper point of view and telling you that all kinds of stuff like this is entirely possible. So you don't really know what's going on, so I'm just commenting on what I can see or what is visible. And if there's any cracks in this, and one of them for me, big time, I mean, if there's anybody out there that thinks they know more about missiles and technology than me and wants to comment on this, I'm all ears. I'm all ears. But the bottom line is, if Russia wanted to end the war with Ukraine tomorrow, and if Iran wanted to take out Israel tomorrow, and for that matter, even the United States, these other countries, it could be done. It could be done. It's not and I'm not talking about necessarily about tactical nuclear weapons here. That's another propaganda lie, that somehow the balance of power can only be maintained if there's an existential threat by using some kind of tacular nuclear weapon. If you want to go down that road, it's a very dangerous road. But I don't think any of these morons really wants to die. I don't care how many bunkers they have. Excuse me. I don't care how many bunkers they have, or where they think they can go, or if they think they can go off planet, or it doesn't really matter, because they're messing with the consciousness of Unsi Maka, Mother Earth, and they're messing with the consciousness of the spirit that moves in all things. It's like it's like a flea on a dog. And at some point, it won't matter what these morons do, what these ideological, psychotic white men do. It's all gonna it's gonna be a blowback on them. They're gonna suffer severe blowback from all of this stuff. They already are. Their little machinations and their little technological advances are going to come up and bite them in the ass. And woe to them for causing all this anxiety and fear and just stress on mankind as a whole. Woe to them. They will suffer just as bad a consequence of this as they're trying to perpetrate on mankind as a whole. And it seems like, again, another indigenous tribal type nation has been singled out for the flames, the fuel, the flames to be rained down on them, these Palestinian people, men, women, and children. But at any rate, it doesn't matter how you look at it. I would say that the world situation right now is, people use the term World War III, like when you see World War III, the only way that you're going to be able to identify it is by a mushroom cloud or several mushroom clouds. But in fact, World War III has been going on for quite some time now, probably in the last at least 2 years. It has already been going on. It's just not evident. And it's just a matter of World War III escalating. The whole world is embroiled in war. The whole world is knocked off balance. The whole world is out of sync. The whole world is at each other's throat. All the populaces in all the different countries are marching in the streets in thousands for some reason or another, whether it's farming or immigrants, or doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. It's all orchestrated. It's meant to be orchestrated, and it has to do again with this sick ideology, this Christian, Judeo-Christian end times. Let's bring about the end times. Let's be martyrs. Got the idiot congressmen in America that are mostly evangelicals, and the idiot Judeo element Zionists, okay, and they're all Zionists, or they're all controlled by Zionists. So this isn't really about, this isn't anti-Semitic what I'm talking about here. This is anti-evil. Okay, because there's a lot of Jews in this country, in Europe, and all over that are out in the streets protesting this stuff, saying this isn't who we are as a people. And it really is true. That isn't who they are as a people, the Jewish people. It's the Jewish state. It's the Zionist state. It's the Zionist American state. And like I said in one of my last videos concerning, you might want to review that, concerning money and bartering and the world economic system and all that. It's a rotten apple in the barrel of apples of the world that originated right here in America, as far as the global hegemony and control and all that type of thing. You may want to review some of my last videos. I couldn't let this situation go by without commenting on it, because it's so ridiculous and it's so absurd. And if it wasn't bad enough, the war propaganda and the war hype and the war, look over here, look over there, look at this distraction. Oh, no, wait a minute. You don't want to see what's going on with the political system, how corrupt that is. So if we move your mind over here to another matter of existential threat for mankind, well, then maybe you'll forget about the bullshit that's associated with the Kamala, Trump, Biden, zoo of pathetic, monstrous, sick individuals on the stage of on a Shakespearean stage of darkness. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm gonna end this video, because anything that is longer than 25 minutes or whatever, it takes forever for some reason. Maybe it's my computer, I don't know, uploading this stuff. I have a prayer circle, the Red Road prayer circle, walking the Red Road, and that can be, you can pray in accordance with that. The indigenous Lakota tradition, the Red Road, and many tribes actually. And if you want to join, like say, you want to write me, you can go to Spirit of Crazy Horse. I'm going to be doing a video on Crazy Horse pretty soon. But you can go to the link in the show notes, spiritofcrazyhorse.com. And there's an email, it says email, and there's also a donate button. Appreciate any donations at this time, and to keep this channel up and going, which is barely hanging on by its fingernails on a monetary level anyway. And like the video and all that good stuff. I guess that helps the algorithms. And if you want to join the prayer circle, you can email me on that site, spiritofcrazyhorse.com. Hit the email button and say, hey, I want to be part of the prayer circle. And it's nice because then it's almost like a family thing. People need to really form up right now on a prayer level, on a spiritual level, and on a friendship level. And I'm talking true friends. I'm not talking fair weather, I'll see you later when times get tough friends. Anyway, I'll leave it there. So this is Roger Thunder, Wopila, which means thank you. And see you next time.